It is extremely important to me that the stories we share are authentic and that we strive to tell both perspectives. I've been a local to this remarkable island 3 times and a tourist too many times to count. Our Home Your Holiday celebrates Aruba. There's a reason why Arubans are so patriotic, and there's a reason why visitors keep coming back. Let's dive into the elements that makes Aruba our home and the perfect holiday. Welcome everyone to Our Home Your Holiday. I'm your host, Yentl Lu. Chinese New Year is on January 22nd this year, and in honor and in celebration of that, let's dive a little deeper into the many supermarkets and restaurants on this island that are owned by individuals of Chinese descent. There seems to be one main factor in common within these operations, and that it is usually a family affair. When driving around any given street on the island, it is inevitable that you will pass one or two or many supermarkets and restaurants that are seemingly affiliated, owned, and operated by a Chinese family. This can typically be determined by the name of the establishment. With a high number of these businesses in place, it is convenient for anyone and everyone on Aruba when needing to make a stop. Today, we are at Gingdo Restaurant and Bar, located in downtown Oranjestad, where we will head inside to get to know the team behind this family-run business. On staff today, we have the grandmother of the Hui family, helping out with miscellaneous tasks. We have the mother and father in the kitchen cooking. Meanwhile, the daughter is answering phones and taking orders. The Hu family has been in business for 32 years, operating a series of restaurants across the island. It all started with their grandfather. Through 3 decades and now in its 3rd generation, one thing remains the same. It has always been a family affair.
My grandfather and then later on my grandmother came here to help. And then my uncle also helped with the business. My dad, my mom, so it's always been in the family.
Gaman can't imagine her family not working together, and the time they spend with one another certainly brings them closer together.
We are very family-oriented. We always do a lot for each other, so that helps also with our family bonding. You know, we help each other out.
Nothing says Chinese food more than finding high heat, a good wok, and fried rice in the kitchen. At the heart and soul of the operation is Ada Yang, Gaman's mother. On or off the clock, Ada is constantly churning out dishes.
Mom always likes cooking. My mom always can cook, even like for us, Chinese food, even for Christmas, New Year's, they cook for a whole bunch of people, so my mom always likes to cook.
Ada doesn't take for granted that their daughter works with the family.
個女返嚟幫手，咁可以見多啲咯。如果佢出邊做工，好少見到面。
Gaman says running a restaurant is hard work. It's long hours and requires hard physical labor. With that said, though, she enjoys her role at Gingdo, especially when it comes to the regulars.
It's always nice to have the same people that order the same things, you know. Sometimes you get someone who come in and then I know already what they're ordering, like what drinks, what food. Most people don't change. They just like what they like here.
More than 60% of Gingdo's customers are regulars. Fabian Latham has been a guest of the Hui family for more than 2 decades. Here's what he loves about Chinese food.
Good service, great food, fast also, and I love the chicken cut small, Spanish fish. I have many very good dishes over here.
Chicken cut small seems to be a crowd pleaser. Not only that, it's one of Sam's favorite dishes to cook up.
你豬拿手係咩餸啊？雞咳什麼？咳什麼？最叻㗎啦，快啊！
The chef gives us his take on why he thinks people love Chinese food so much.
因為唐餐又好食，又多品種，又多款式，又平，最緊要平啊！
On top of that, the portions are also generous. After 30 years, Sam is beyond content with his work life. 咁你日日可以同你個老婆同埋女同埋你嘅屋企人做工，咁你覺得點啊？
非常開心
點解啊？
一齊做工一齊係生活啊嘛，梗係開心啦，係咪？
It seems like Gingdo will be in operation on Aruba for many years to come.
I do want to keep on this business like for my next generation, for my children. So I do think it will keep on going, like for more generations to come.
Now, it is pretty common for visitors of this island to snap photos and record videos while they are on vacation. But some tourists are taking it to a whole new level, which lends itself very well for material for our next story. Take a look. No one can deny the beauty of Aruba. The island has plenty of natural attractions and landmarks that encourage visitors to keep their cameras and recording devices busy while on vacation. But Jeremy Oblin from Washington, D.C. is taking it to new heights, literally, with a consumer drone.
I can fly about 6 miles away. The camera from the drone streams live to my cell phone, which is attached to the controller. So as I'm flying, I can see everything that the camera can see. So you can fly much farther away than you can see the drone, although you're not supposed to do that.
One of the sites Jeremy visited was the natural pool. The college student plans on taking Aruba's beauty back home with him to his dorm room after developing the photos in large format. He will also share with his family. For the California Lighthouse, the drone was programmed to circle the landmark and keep it in the center of the frame throughout the flight. The goal was to capture the lighthouse in its entirety.
I brought this here because Aruba has so many beautiful beaches and other attractions. Flying the drone in the air gives you a very unique perspective and another opportunity to observe Aruba's beauty.
The gadget is also very functional when it comes to facing some of Aruba's natural elements.
Definitely the range. Being able to fly so far away is really unique. It's also able to withstand the winds.
And Aruba's windy.
Yeah, Aruba is really, really windy. So it's nice that I don't have to worry about it flying away or losing control. It gives me a map of where I've flown. So
nice.
here, you'll find this cool. This is the whole flight path for what I did today.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Jeremy says drones can be very dangerous for local airports, so users must check every country's regulation on drones before flying them. Where location permits, you should still exercise caution.
I bring this drone when it's permitted. Some places you're not allowed to fly a drone. The drone gives you a bird's eye view, which is very unique. The only other way to really observe that would be through a helicopter, which isn't really accessible. So I've been to Colorado, I've been to the Rocky Mountains, I've been to some other beaches, and I always bring this there. It makes for some really incredible photos.
Incredible photos indeed, courtesy to Jeremy for the breathtaking images and videos of our home during his holiday. It's a new year, but same gratitude. I'd like to recognize a small business that's been with the show since day one. Say hello to Claudia Juliet, the owner of Inspiration Spa. I pay a visit to her salon every 2 weeks for eyelash extension services. She is absolutely wonderful and very talented. I am so grateful for this quaint, clean, and welcoming spa located on Sasaki. On top of filming and interviews, being camera ready is always on my list. Not having to put mascara on cuts my prep time in half before going in front of the lens. Masha danki to the entire team at Inspiration. The topic of sustainability is a crucial one that's being discussed worldwide. Limiting the use of plastics and knowing where your products are coming from are two important factors to protecting our planet. There's one small business that goes by the name of Eco Living Aruba that practices sustainable beekeeping across this island, and the products they produce are locally made with natural ingredients, giving off the smallest carbon footprint. In the last episode, sustainable beekeeper Dan Barrows walked us through all the properties that hardworking bees produce, which contain benefits to people. Here's a refresher.
When wax is made, when it's brand new, it's white. And up here, that's nectar, the shiny stuff. So it's actually going to be honey. All this is also nectar. Now there's two different size cells. There's the bigger ones that hold the nectar and honey, but also it's for drones. And the smaller ones are for the worker bees and for pollen. This is all pollen in here. You can see the stuff that's inside the cell. It's like orange and yellow.
If you missed this story and want the full scoop, it is on demand via our YouTube channel. With the understanding of the goodness that bees make, Rose Barrows, co-owner of Eco Living Aruba, shows us how she takes those properties from the bees to cook up sustainable products such as soaps, lotion bars, lip balms, and much more.
So here we have the beeswax that we get from the bees. We clean it, we filter it, and then we make a disc out of it that we cut in pieces, so it helps a little bit better with melting a little faster. And what we're gonna make here is actually lip balm. So we're gonna, here I have my coconut oil. I'm gonna add the beeswax to it. And then I'm also gonna add some jojoba oil to keep the lips nice and soft. And then this we're actually gonna put in hot water so it can melt, and it takes a little bit of time.
Good thing we can use some TV magic again and skip on the waiting time for the wax to melt. Once everything is in liquid form, the solution needs to cool off. Afterwards, Rose drops some raw honey into the mixture to give that really nice soft feeling to the lips. This small batch you see here makes 30 lip balms. Rose and her husband Dan operate Eco Living Aruba with just the two of them. They handle everything from beginning to end, including printing, labeling, and packaging, not to mention the beehiving and the production of their environmentally friendly products. Sustainability is at the forefront of the company's mission. They focus on being local, offering natural products, and if they have to ship in ingredients to produce some of their products, they are very conscious about where it is coming from, the distance that it has to travel to get to Aruba, who they are buying from, and other factors. This is all in all to reduce as much of a carbon footprint as possible.
In everything we do, we try to be as sustainable as we can. That's, for example, why we don't use a lot of essential oils just for the smell of it, because we think that's not a sustainable use. But if it adds a benefit to the skin, then yes. And the same counts for our packaging. Like, for example, if I'll take one of the soaps, we sell our soaps what they call naked. Well, we put a paper band around it so we can put the name and the ingredient on it. But soap is perfectly fine to sell naked because it is a soap. It's actually meant to clean. Because it's antibacterial, it won't, bacteria won't stick to it. So sometimes people in shops worry that they're like, it needs to have packaging because other people touched it. But with soap, that's not an issue.
Not only do we need bees to continue pollinating flowers for the earth to grow fruits and vegetables, but the properties that bees produce does wonders for the human body.
So the bees give us obviously the raw honey, but also the beeswax that we can use in our balms. And they also give us propolis. And propolis is the glue that the bees make. And it's very antibacterial. So for example, we have this bee remedy, which is like a little bit of olive oil, but then it's the beeswax, the raw honey, and the propolis inside, which works wonders for if you have like a wound or if you have a burn, then the antibacterial and the healing properties will actually kick in.
Eco Living Aruba caters to both locals and tourists.
The main goal of Eco Living is to create natural products from the island. And I don't want to just cater to the tourists, but I want to show the locals as well that it's possible to make something here that we can all benefit from. Like the sustainable part is not just for the tourist, it's for the local as well. Of course, for the tourists, it can be fun to bring something home. Like the ocean soap, for example, you bring a little piece of the ocean with you. There's a little seaweed, so it brings nice memories when you're back. But it's actually also really nice and exfoliating soap. So I don't see why a local should not use this either, you know, even though they can jump in the ocean and they don't have to use it for the memory purpose of it.
For more information on Eco Living Aruba, visit their website. If you have video production needs or if you have questions regarding our sales, feel free to email ourhomeyourholiday@gmail.com. Make sure to also subscribe to our YouTube channel if you care for on-demand access to our stories. We are also on social media, including TikTok. So for behind-the-scenes footage, follow along there. We'll see you here on Monday nights on Channel 13, Tell Aruba.